You fortunate souls who stay in a centrally air conditioned house, you are very fortunate. All right, so let's do the streaming. Let me just check the streaming. It is so hot here. I don't know if any of you can see this big pipe behind me. That's the exhaust for the kitchen, and they're cooking a feast right now. So not only do I get the heat from the sun, but I also get the heat from the kitchen. So it's Krishna's mercy. Oh, that's that. It's all right. It reminds me of the summer where I was at 2 summers. I was actually at Govardhan for the summer. But the Govardhan was actually better because Govardhan had my house has a concrete floor. So here's a wood floor. And in the concrete floor, I could sleep on the floor at night. And kept me cool. So, yeah, all right. So we have a little air conditioner back there, you can see. It's a little air conditioner. And I have a little fan here. Anyway, we tolerate. I don't think we have an alternative. Jago Jago Rachanabo Lay Kutanitra Yapaya Misachirako Lay Jago Jago Rachana Olay Kutanitra Yahumaya Misachirako Majiva Pariya, they say Samsara Vita Ray Yahile Dume Apijabare Majiva Pariya, say Samsara Vita Ray Yahile Dume Vijarabare Tomare Laite Ami Oinu Avatara Tomare Laite Ami Oinu Avatara Ami Vina Panuara Kaya Chetomara Omare Nateami I knew Avatara Ami Vina Panuara Kaya Chetomara Para Nalki Urinama Mantra Lakumi Maki Elche Shati Maya Nashiparatla Giri Namak Mantra Lao to me Maki Makati Vinopura Prabhu Charane Proya Say Hari Nama Mantra Roilo Nakia Makati Vinopura Prabhu Charane Proya Harinama Mantra Loilo Magia Jiv Jako Jiv Jako Gorajana Mole Godanendra Yamaya Visachi Rakole Chijago Chijago Gorachana Pole Godanendra Yamaya Visachi Rakole Jaya Prabhu Da Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhu My Prabhupada 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 Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paracharya Alstateta Satushi Shimad His Divine Grace Savaya Chaitanya Bhaktivedanta Goswami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Harem Se Kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasati Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radhakrishna Gopigopada Shri Mukunda Radhakunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Vrindavanam Ki Jai Jagannatha Swami Ki Jai Yamunamai Ki Jai Srimati Galasi Devi Ki Jai Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Gaur Premananda All glory is the assembled devotees, all glory is the assembled devotees, all glory is the assembled devotees, all glory is the Srila Prabhupada, Shri Guru and Gauranga, Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai, Nama Om Krishna Padaya. Krishna Prastaya Budle, Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Namani Namaste, Saraswati Devi, Gauravani Pachari, Nivashesha, Shunyavadi, Paschatya, Deja Tarani. So let's read the translation. Lord Gaurachandra is calling, wake up sleeping souls, wake up sleeping soul. How long will you sleep in the lap of the witch called Maya? You have forgotten the way of devotional service and have lost in the cycle of birth and death. I have descended just to save you. I am your only true friend. Other than me, what friend do you have? I have brought the medicine that will wipe out the disease of illusion from which you suffered. Take this great chant for deliverance, Maha Mantra, the names of Hari. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, falling at the Lord's lotus feet, take shelter of the Hari Nam Mantra, the Lord's holy names. Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Ki Jai, right from our Nugaloka songbook. So, with this in mind, we're going to continue our study of the Jaiva Dharma. And as you're aware, we're talking about very, very intimate subject matters right now. And people realizing their spiritual identity, something that's beyond all of our pay grades. So, but still, we should understand theoretically what it is. So this is called Raganuga Bhakti. that Vijay Kumar and his nephew, Brajanath, are being instructed in. And the interesting thing, as I mentioned many times before, is that this has occurred only a few days, or perhaps a week or two, after they took initiation. So this is remarkable, not really the standard process, not at all, even a century or two after you take initiation, or three births, anyway. It's rare, okay. But these are great souls. And we may not be great souls, we may be little tiny souls. Well, of course, the soul is always tiny. So, with that in mind, let us go to the Jaiva Dharma. Om Ganati Vadadasha. Gananjana Shlakya Chakshuru and Meditam Yena Tasmai. Shri Gurave Namaha. Also, we're going to be speaking at a program a little later today for Purushottama month. It's an Ekadasi program. It's Ekadasi here in New Orleans. I know it's not Ekadasi everywhere, but in New Orleans it's Ekadasi today. So we're having an Ekadasi program. And for that Ekadasi program, it's interesting. Anyway, I should tell you all. There were 100,000, which is 1 lakh, of Tulsi Manjaris offered to the deities. I'll try to show a picture of this. I mean, they have 3 sets of deities. So they have Gornatai, Radha Krishna. I'm just going to show you Radha Krishna. So you can just get an idea. Everybody gets an idea. So between the 3 sets of deities, they offered 100,000 Tulsi Manjaris to the deities. And of course, the Tulsi Manjaris didn't come from the temple generally, they came from everyone's home. We have a community here of, well over 100 to 200 initiated devotees, all of whom come from Bengal. I am basically one of the only people who speaks English as a native language here. Okay. So let's continue, and it's hot, but they're used to it. This is Bengal weather. I mean, they're thinking this is like Bengal weather. Even when they had the hurricane here and the streets were flooded, they thought it was like the Ganges, and they were swimming in the flooded streets, thinking, "Oh, Ganga Mai Ki Jai." So anyway, it's an interesting zone, part of my GBC zone. So now let's go to the Jaiva Dharma. Om Ganati Vadadasha Gananjana Shlakya Chakshur Unmeritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of my spiritual master, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, who so kindly opened my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge while I was blinded in the darkness of ignorance. So let's share the screen. Let's see. Okay. And Vijay Kumar just got his understanding of who he was, or who he is in the spiritual world, not just who he was, who he is in the spiritual world. We'll just change the setting here. It's that. And he is, okay. So we'll backtrack a little bit. So you hear the Vijay Kumar had this realization and attraction to certain pastimes of Krishna. Therefore, anyway, he reveals this to his guru, the Babaji. Vijay Kumar says, Prabhu, for a long time, I have been reading the Srimad Bhagavatam and I hear about Krishna's pastimes here and there. Whenever I study Krishna's pastimes, a bhava, that's emotion, arises in my heart that I should serve the couple like Lalita. Now, Lalita, of course, is one of the 2 primary associates of Srimati Radharani. Lalita and Vishaka and their members of the Astasakis, the eightfold main associates of Radharani. So Lalita, her mentality is very hot-headed. In other words, she gets angry with Krishna a lot. So I'm not going to get more into that. But anyway, Babaji said, you should not say more. In other words, don't really talk that much about it. This is just for us. You are a special manjari following Lita Devi. Manjari means like small pre-pubescent girl, innocent girl. And they remain, I was asked that question today. These manjaris, they remain in that state. They never grow up. And they always remain innocent. Therefore, they can serve Radha Krishna in their most intimate pastimes because they have no inclination, no possibility of relating with Krishna in a direct conjugal way. So I think that's really important to understand about these manjaris. So, what service do you particularly like? Okay. Of course, someone asked me, what service do you particularly like? Well, I like speaking about Krishna. I like serving Krishna. I like internet classes. But that's not what the Babaji is asking about. What seva in the spiritual realm are you attracted to? Vijay Kumar says, I think Adalita Devi orders me to string flower garlands. Having strung flower garlands after picking beautiful flowers, I will give them to her. Smiling at me with mercy, she will offer them to the necks of Radha and Krishna. So they're assistants to the principal gopis. Babaji said, may your practice of service be successful. I give my blessings. Wow. Now, if one of us were to go to Prabhupada and say, say that because we're not qualified, Prabhupada would say, I give you my chastisements, you rascal. And sometimes people, and they project their mentality upon their material mentality upon the spiritual realm. It's almost humorous sometimes if it wasn't said. Babaji said, may your practice service be successful. Vijay Kumar fell at the lotus feet of his guru and began weeping continually. Seeing his Baba emotion, Babaji said, please practice Raganuga Bhakti with this Baba. Again, Raganuga Bhakti means spontaneous devotional service according to the rules, but not so externally. Always practice the Angas of Heidi Bhakti nicely. So in other words, not externally, one thing's going on internally, another thing. Seeing Vijay Kumar's good fortune, Rajanath requested the feet of his guru. Prabhu, when I studied Krishna's pastimes, I developed a desire to follow Subal. Now, Subal, for those of you who don't know, is Krishna's intimate friend. And the interesting thing about Subal is he looks very similar in male form, of course, to Srimati Radharani. So there's very interesting pastimes that occur that sometimes he dresses like Radharani and takes her place at Radharani's home. And so Radharani can go out and enact pastimes with Krishna. Radharani, of course, takes the dress of Subal. Very interesting pastime. What activity do you have a taste for? And Brajanath said, in the company of Subal, I like very much to bring the cows back, which have wandered far off. Krishna will sit in one place, playing his flute. By the mercy of Subal, I have the calves drink water and bring them to Krishna. That is my desire. Babaji said, I bless you. Following Subal, may you serve Krishna. You are qualified for Sakya. Sakya Ras means the friendship relationship with Krishna, and Subal is one of the primary friends of Krishna. Subal, Sudam, Sridham, like that. Yes, Subal is the son of Rishabhanu's brother. Vishwanu is the father of Srimati Radharani. So that's why they look similar. Okay. So, these are just like I said, I have to say this again and again and again. It's very elevated stuff. Don't even want to use the word stuff. Information, very elevated information that you could just understand theoretically right now. Just don't go home after this class and think, what do I feel like today? I feel like a cow, whatever. It was amazing that from that day, the feeling of being Lalita's maidservant arose in Vijay Kumar's heart. He began to see the old Babaji as a form of Lalita. Vijay Kumar said, Prabhu, what else remains to be known in this manner by your mercy? Now, that's also interesting. This is an interesting phenomenon that one sees the guru, a bona fide guru, when one realizes one's original spiritual nature. One sees the guru as a representative and in the same rus. So let's say, Vijay Kumar sees his guru in the conjugal rus, representing Lalita, because the guru is transparent, not translucent, not opaque. So one sees the guru like this as a principle. Vijay Kumar says, what else remains to be known in this matter by your mercy? Babaji said, nothing else remains, just that you must know the name, form, dress, and other items of your Siddhadeha. When you come to me alone, I'll tell you that. Now, this is known as a Kadashi Vav. A Kadashi doesn't mean like the 11th day of the moon. It means the 11 aspects of one's spiritual personality. We do not engage in this right now. In this kind, it would destroy our movement if we have this Guru Maharaj is giving the 11 aspects. So Prabhupada actually gave us the principle of deserve and desire. In other words, we try to please Krishna and these things please Prabhupada, and these things are revealed to us. It's true. It's not that artificial imposition of the mind. Okay, my name is Gopi Varana, Govinda Purana Malaksha Das. And what my dress is, I wear a pink dress with polka dots on Wednesday. And on Thursday, I wear a red dress with blue polka dots on. So let me just imagine myself. Imagine myself. It's not like that. It's not imagination, it's reality. People think that imagination or picture, you can picture a lot of things in your mind that are not reality. Like I mentioned many times that I can picture a lot of mundane things in my mind, but that's not reality. When I was very young, for example, I had a dog, a pet chihuahua, little tiny thing. And if I close my eyes, I can picture him in my mind. So Sahajism means, so basically we're doing the same thing as picturing the dog in our mind. We're just projecting our dog-like consciousness onto the spiritual realm. Saying as you please, Vijay Kumar offered respects on the ground. In other words, the Babaji does not want to deal with these things publicly or even in front of Brajanath, because Brajanath is in a different ras, a different relationship, a different taste of the relationship. It's important. So these things are not broadcast, and they're rare, extremely rare. From that day, Brajanath began to see, Brajanath is the one who had the friendship relationship. He began to see Subal in the old Babaji. So in other words, he saw that Subal was manifesting his instructions through the Babaji, his guru. So don't try that. Those who are my disciples, so I say, well, I must be a Gopi son, looking at my Guru Maharaj, the Krishna Maharaj. He looks like a Gopi. No. He looks like an old rat. Saying, as you please. Sorry for this humor. I think I just have to really make the point and use humor to illustrate the point. Otherwise, people will not remember what I'm saying. If I didn't use humor, you wouldn't hear what I'm saying. Saying, as you please, Brajanath offered respects on the ground. Oh, yeah, I looked at it. He said to Brajanath, sometime when you come alone, so in other words, alone also for him, I will tell you the name, form, dress, and other items of your perfect spiritual body. Saying, as you please, Brajanath offered respects on the ground. Brajanath and Vijay Kumar, understanding they had become successful on that day, began service on the path of Raghunaga and great bliss. Externally, everything remained as previously. They acted like men. But Vijay Kumar internally took up the nature of a woman. Brajanath attained the nature of a cowherd boy. So externally, you couldn't tell the difference. It's not that Vijay Kumar became more feminine in his external aspects. It's not that he was like, his voice went up. No. He's a guy, nobody could tell the difference. Brajanath, little cowherd boy, cute little cowherd boy. It was late at night while chanting the Mahamantra composed of Krishna's names given by Guru. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. They headed to Bilva Pushkarini. It was most midnight, almost midnight, and the moon had risen. The season spread happiness in all directions suitable to the time. Approaching Lakshmana Tila, means the hill of Lakshmana, the two sat alone at the base of an amalaki tree. Vijay Kumar asked Brajanath, oh Brajanath, what was on our minds has been fulfilled. What was, not what was. Yeah, what was on our minds has been fulfilled. By the mercy of devotees, Krishna must be merciful. In other words, because they got the mercy of the Babaji, they got Krishna's mercy. Otherwise, it ain't possible. So let us consider what we should do in the future. Tell me with a sincere heart, what do you want to do? Will you get married? Oh my God. What a topic to bring up right after someone has realized who they are. Will you renounce everything? I'm not requesting anything. I'm asking what is in your mind to tell your mother. Oh my God. They just realized the spiritual identities. Hare Krishna. Brajanath said, I am devoted to you. You're a scholar and a Vaishnava. Without a father, I have you as my guardian. I am ready to do whatever you order. I do not want to get married because later becoming attached, I will forget about my spiritual life. What is your opinion? Yeah, so he's actually surrendered. This is etiquette. You surrender to it more advanced, even though Vijay Kumar is actually Brajanath's god brother as well as the uncle. So he's older in one sense. Obviously, uncles are usually older, not always. Uncles can actually be younger. But in this case, he's older than Brajanath. And he's also the god brother. So he's taking shelter, the dati pratigranati, guyam akyati puchati bhakti, mukte bhojate Jaiva. We believe in mind and confidence. Vijay Kumar said, I will not force anything on you. You must come to a conclusion and tell me. In other words, decide something. You can't vacillate all the time. It's just driving your mother and grandmother crazy. Rajanath said, considering everything, it is better to act on receiving orders from Guru. In other words, he's going to take the Guru's advice as whether to get married or not. Because the Guru understands the psychophysical nature and engages the disciple according to that psychophysical nature. If the Guru says, get married, says, yes, sir. And if the Guru says, don't get married, says, yes, sir. Now, of course, sometimes the Guru actually tests the disciple to see the disciple's determination. For example, one disciple, Prabhupada, came to Prabhupada one time and said to Srila Prabhupada, "Dear Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, I want to take sannyas, the renounced order of life." And Prabhupada said, "I think you should be married." And next day, 2 or 3, shortly after, he comes back with a girl and asks for Prabhupada's blessings for his marriage. So it was a test. That's the one time you can say, "No Guru Maharaj," when the Guru asks you to get married. So one time. It's authorized. Vijay Kumar said, "Good. Tomorrow morning we get the order from Prabhupada Guru on this matter." Even though his guru's name was not Prabhupada, it's a generic name, or we don't use for it in ISKCON except for Srila Prabhupada. It's a generic name, means Prabhupada means the Guru sits at the feet of the Prabhu. The original Prabhu is Krishna. Also means, in the case of our Srila Prabhupada, a guru who has all the other Prabhus sit at his feet, all the other gurus sit at his feet. Mahaguru. Rajana said, "Uncle, what is your mood? Will you remain a householder or become a renunciate?" Vijay Kumar said, "Like you, I'm undecided. On the one hand, I think that becoming a renunciate, I can extinguish the fire of household dharma. On the other hand, I think that later my heart will dry up and I will be cheated of bhakti rasa. I desire also to act after taking the order of Guru." So this is an interesting point, that unless someone is really on a high level of devotional service, of course, Vijay Kumar is in Bhajanath, then taking renunciation or giving up things artificially will make the make the heart hard and dry up, shrivel up, just like you see sometimes. Actually, it's true. I see sometimes, people who take a renunciation, both men and women, prematurely, they're just like, it's anger, they're dried up. Yeah. So they're trying to, I've seen it particularly, there's so many stories in the Catholic Church of nuns and people going to the school and being tortured by nuns. We've even had the same thing in our movement, where you've had some ladies who taught who actually were not married, didn't have their needs fulfilled, and they were really heavy. Oh my God, you cannot imagine how heavy. And some nuns like that too. Many nuns, not everyone. So if someone's not ready, it's better not to. Doesn't help one. By taking sannyas, you don't get rid of your anarthas. You don't take care of all your needs. Doesn't work like that. It's just simply artificial. One becomes a falgu vairagi, a false renunciate. So it was late at night, they should return home. Deciding this, the uncle and nephew, after seeing the qualities of the Lord, arrived at the house. After taking prasad, they went to bed. Such an interesting discussion today. Okay, next chapter. Bhava. Oh my God, they are moving ahead quickly in devotional service. They're ready for the platform. Bhava ready. Okay, so the platform is, you have sadhana bhakti, which is composed of vaidhi and raganuga. Sadhana means practice. There's practice according to rules. There's practice when one has an indication of one's spiritual identity and cultivates that spiritual identity internally. It's called raganuga. And externally still acts as a practicing person, external practicing person, vaidhi. And then at the next stage is bhava, emotions. Wow. And the next stage after that is prema, pure love. So now we're going to move ahead. It was a Kaddishi, just like today. The Vaishnavas were sitting on the platform under the Bakula tree in the Shiva Sangam doing kirtan. Oh, Garanga, oh, Nityananda, someone exclaimed. The old Babaji was stunned, absorbed in some Baba emotion. Baba means emotion. After a long time, he said, while weeping, this is unfortunate. Where is Rupa? Where is Sanatan? Where is Das Goswami? That's right, Das Goswami. Where's Krishnadas Kaviraj, the brother of my life? Wow. Separated from them, I am all alone. This is feeling great separation from the Vaishnavas. I'm not feeling well. I have difficulty remembering Radha Kund. My life is departing. Oh, Rupa and Raghunath, show yourselves to me and save my life. I remain alive in separation from you. My life is cursed. Saying this, he rolled in the dust of the yard. Wow. That's Baba. Now, of course, the Babaji was on the level of Prema, but on the level of Prema, you actually also have Baba. I mean, it's Baba, whatever. The Babas are the constituents of Ras. Ras means, sometimes people think it's relationship, it means a taste. The Babas are constituents of the taste that one has in devotional service. All the Vaishnavas said, oh, Babaji, be steady. Rupa and Raghunath are in your heart. Chaitanya and Nityananda are dancing in front of you. Saying where? I mean, these are extreme emotions. Don't imitate these emotions either. I mean, this is an absolutely pure devotee. Saying where? Babaji jumped up, seeing the deities of Panchatattva in front of him. His lamentation completely vanished. He said, Mayapur is fortunate. The lamentation of Braj is removed only in Mayapur. Very interesting statement. Saying this while dancing, he entered his kutir. So, yeah, Mayapur is Odarya Dham. That means the merciful Dham, or place of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Oh my God. This is really intense emotions that are being exhibited here. Amazing descriptions by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So at that time, Vijay Kumar and Bhajanath arrived and offered respects. Seeing them, the old Babaji was overjoyed. He said, how is your bhajan progressing? With folded hands and humility, the two disciples said, Prabhu, which means master, your mercy is everything to us. We have done piles of sukriti to attain your lotus feet. So we said sukriti means basically devotional activities. Okay. Even devotional activities without knowing, it doesn't mean mundane sukriti, like helping a lot of old ladies cross streets. Today on Ekadasi, following your order, we are fasting without water and come to see you. Babaji said you were fortunate. You will attain the state of Baba very quickly. So here we go with Baba. So, one day to another. I mean, this is definitely bhakti on steroids, as they say. So, don't think, another thing is you shouldn't think of, let me find the Babaji who's going to get me through all. Sometimes devotees, immature devotees, think like that. They think, let me go to Radhakund and find a Babaji who's going to get me through all these stages as quickly. But it doesn't work like that. This is just a story told by Bhaktivinoda Thakur that illustrates certain philosophical and practical points about it. Vijay Kumar asked, Prabhu, what is Baba? You have not taught us what Baba is. He went to Prabhupada and said that. He said, just get to work and distribute some books and preach Krishna consciousness and be compassionate, serve the deities. Deserve, then desire. Not desire, then deserve. So, what is Baba? You have not taught us what Baba is. Did they change their names? No. Babaji said, everything I've taught till now was sadhana, practice. Performing sadhana practice, one attains perfection. The initial state of perfection is called bhava. So sadhana is preliminary to the state of perfection. In Dashamula, it is described this way. If you remember, Dashamula was, what do you know about was 10 essential points or foundational aspects of Krishna consciousness. Svarupavastane maduraras rasa bhavodaya iha Raje Radha Krishna Swajana Jana Bhavam Ridi Vahan Aranande Pritim Jagaratula Sampat Sukamaho Ilasakye Tatve Padma Paricharyam Salabate. When the jiva is situated, jiva is the soul, is situated in his swarup, his original form. As sadhana bhakti, devotional service and practice, matures, bhava, or spiritual motions, arises in madhurya ras by the strength, madhurya ras means the conjugal relationship, by the strength of ladini shakti, means the pleasure potency of the Lord, which is Srimati Radharani. A bhava, an emotion following the associates of Radha and Krishna and Braj, arises in the heart. Eventually, he attains the supreme service in the pastimes and a wealth of happiness superior to anything in this world, experiencing the highest bliss. There's no other attainment for the jiva. This verse is a description of the goal in the state of prema. Obviously, bhava and prema connected, although bhava is considered preliminary. The preliminary state of prema is called bhava, until you become completely pure. The final verse of the Dashamula says, interesting statement. Prabhu kako jiva katamidam majid vishwamitiva vicharayaitan artan haribhajana kuchjastra chatora abedasham dharma sakalam aparanam pariharam Hare Nam Nanandam Pivati Hari Daksho Hari Janai. Who is Krishna? Who am I? Jiva. What is this universe made of conscious and unconscious factors? Deliberating on this, the servant of the Lord, skillful in scriptures, who cultivates bhakti, that means love for Krishna, giving up the desire for Brahman, the impersonal liberation, for all dharma, that means mundane religious practices, and adharma means things that are bad. So he gives a desire for everything, in this world, and avoiding offenses, drinks the bliss of the Lord's name in the company of devotees. The 10 verses are an astonishing collection. What the jiva has attained is explained here from the mouth of Mahaprabhu. Vijay Kumar said, I desired to hear the glories of the Dashamula. Babaji said, please let Dashamula, and again, the 10 essential foundational principles of Bhakti as explained by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Babaji said, please listen. Some say Vidasamulam Vahikwa Vijayam Jana Avapushtim Tatatushtim Labate Sadhu Sangataha. Serving the Dasamula, giving up the disease of ignorance, one should attain satisfaction, nourished by bhava and the association of devotees. That's Dashamula Mahatma, that means the glorification of Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Mahatma. Dashamula. Vijay Kumar said, Prabhu, may the Dasha Mula become a necklace for all of us. Reciting the verses daily, we will offer respects to Mahaprabhu, that's Lord Chaitanya. Now, please speak in detail about bhava. All righty, here we go. For those of you who are bhava fans. Babaji said, bhava, that means spiritual motions, is the special swarup form of the Shuddha Sattva, that means the pure goodness which only exists spiritually. There's material goodness, which has mixtures of passion and ignorance. It's the material world. But Shuddha Sattva is only based on the pleasure of Krishna. And Bhava is comparable to a ray of the sun of prema. Prema is love, pure love of Krishna. The Swarup Lakshana, that means the form, the qualities of the form. A Bhava is called Shuddha Sattva Vishesha Swarupa. That means the manifestation of the form of Shuddha Sattva. Shuddha Sattva meaning, again, I should define these things so everybody doesn't get confused. The characteristics, Swarup Lakshana means the characteristics of Bhava is the form of the pure goodness. Bhava is also called rati. Rati means basically one's emotional attachment or taste. Some call it a sprout of prema. Prema is the full-grown plant. Shuddha Sattva, prema is love. Shuddha Sattva, pure goodness, means a function of the samvit, which is the cognitive knowing potency of Krishna, which belongs to Krishna's spiritual energy. Okay? Samvit, cognitive knowing potency of Krishna, which reveals everything. It is not a function of Maya, that is the Maya of this world, the illusion of this world, which covers everything. When Ladini function, the Ladini function, the pleasure potency, that means it's the Sarup Shakti, one aspect of the Sarup Shakti is Ladini, the pleasure potency. Function combines with the cognitive function, Samvit, the knowing function. Its essence is Bhava. Let's unpack that again. When the pleasure potency of the Lord combines with the cognitive, the knowing function, its essence is Bhava. Or to speak about it a different way, the aspects of the Lord's Swarup Shakti is Sat, Chit, and Ananda. Got it? Sat, Chit, Ananda. Sat, Chit means eternity. Chit means knowledge, which is Samvit. Perfect knowledge, Samvit. Vit. Okay, so let's define the word Samvit. Vit means to know. Like in English, it is the same word, basically, wit, which actually they use the V in Latin. I forget the exact Latin word, but there's a V used in Latin. It's something like that. So to know, sang means perfect knowledge, complete knowledge, knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So when the Satchidananda, okay, let's go back. The Chit, which is also the same thing, the cognitive, the knowing potency, the complete knowing function of the Lord combines, in other words, knowledge combines with ecstasy, with the desire to please Krishna, and the pleasure potency of Krishna. Pleasure potency means the desire to please Krishna. Doesn't mean precisely ecstasy, it's Krishna's ecstasy. And when knowledge combines with the desire to please Krishna, in other words, the theoretical knowledge combines with the bhakti knowledge, then that's called bhava. Wow. So in other words, bhava is not something that's executed mindlessly or without intelligence. Okay. I've explained it the best I can to everybody. By the samvit function, that means the cognitive knowing function, chit function of the Lord, sat, chit, and Ananda. One knows objects, in other words. Like by the knowing potency, one knows things. Got it. By the ladini function, one becomes blissful on perceiving an object. You understand? Let's see. You see Krishna, oh, that's Krishna. Okay, put it in common words. And because you're imbued, hopefully, with the pleasure potency, you want to give pleasure to Krishna, that's why you feel pleasure. You only feel spiritual pleasure when you want to give pleasure to the Lord. Otherwise, your spiritual pleasure may be a shadow attachment. A lot of stuff here. Okay, we got to go a little slow. Okay, I think it's time to take some questions. And pretty esoteric stuff today. I don't want to say stuff. Sorry about that. Stuff is not an appropriate word. So, actually, I forgot all about the heat. Pretty good. That shows you devotional service takes away all distress. I just forgot that I'm in New Orleans, as hot as HE here. And I have right behind me, I have the kitchen exhaust right over the stove as a special heater in my room, so I don't get too chilled. So anybody have any questions? You can raise your hand, type in the text window, or you can unmute yourself if you happen to be bold. So, do I see some Tulsi Maharani?
So it sounds like one could get their sarup, at least knowledge of it, before they get bhava. So is this particular to this situation?
No, that's the nature of Raganuga. In Raganuga, you actually have to concentrate on, what your rasa, what your relationship is. I mean, that's the aspect of Raganuga, that how it differentiates from Vaidhi, because Raganuga and spontaneous devotional service, Raganuga and Vaidhi are two aspects of sadhana bhakti.
So before one's even completely pure.
Yes, of course.
But
one has to be free of anartha.
Doesn't that mean pure?
No. One become free of anarthas, but not absolutely. I explained that yesterday.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
One can be free, but not absolutely free. In other words, if you're not attentive, they can come back. Like in the case of your friend and mine, Bart Maharaj.
Yeah.
He was free of anarthas, but he wasn't absolutely free. So because he was inattentive, they came back. And I was talking about that this morning in class, which I didn't broadcast on Facebook, but it's available on my YouTube channel and also on my Facebook. And I explained that yes, I explained the principle of becoming absolutely free or just free. There's a difference between the two. Absolutely free or free. Free means you don't have it anymore. And I was explaining that if one just becomes free, but not absolutely free means there's no chance of it coming back. One has to be extremely attentive to all sorts of details. I mean, especially as one progresses in devotional service. I was explaining, this is one of my favorite topics. As one progresses in devotional service, then one gets proper adoration, distinction. And you see so many like really stalwart devotees. I mean, gurus like deviate from devotional service, maybe not so many, but some, because they're not attentive. They're qualified as gurus, yes, in the beginning, but they're not attentive to the byproducts of bhakti which arise. Byproducts means you get some appreciation, position. Like for example, I go somewhere where there's disciples, they all say, God, Jai Guru Maharaj. Of course, I do understand that most of them don't listen to me. So I'm not an illusion. So they say, Jai Guru Maharaj, Jai Guru Maharaj, Jai Guru Maharaj. So, yeah, I just remember, actually, there's a story here in New Orleans, the devotee was telling me that when Bhakti Maharaj was on the planet, he has some disciples here, so we'd come to New Orleans and he'd tell the disciples, you should go out and preach Krishna consciousness. So in order to set an example, he personally went to what place called the French Quarter here, and very few people showed up, and he got disgusted. So anyway, apart from that, even if everyone does say Jai Guru Maharaj, even theoretically everyone listens to you, then that goes through your head. So you got to remember, I'm a servant, I'm a servant, I'm a servant. And they're giving me respect because of the position I've been giving, not because of me. Just like you see it in politics, oftentimes the person thinks that they're the ones getting respect and not because of their position. The interesting thing is sometimes it is like that because the person is so entertaining or such a buffoon in politics that he gets so many followers because he's entertaining. This keeps life from getting too boring. So that's the point about the anarchist. So one has to be extremely careful. So here's a question, right? Maharaj, sometimes during Kirtan, Japa or sadhana, we at times experience strong emotions and tears, but one is far from being free from anarthas. How do we understand that? Thank you, Maharaj. This is actually mentioned in the, where is it? Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur's literature. And he says, and also Bhakti Vinod Thakur mentions that too, that when one is exposed, even if one's not even a devotee, one's exposed to really good chanting the holy names or a Bhagavatam class or an association of some great pure devotee, one will feel like ecstasy. I remember the first time I met Prabhupada. That's how I felt. I became completely detached from this material world, as long as Prabhupada was in the room. And then, I just felt transcendental ecstasy, like shivering and everything from being in Prabhupada's presence and sitting down listening to Prabhupada. I remember even standing behind Prabhupada. There's a famous picture of me standing behind Prabhupada during Jaiva Dharma. And standing behind Prabhupada, just watching him play the cartels, I was experiencing symptoms of ecstasy. That doesn't mean not necessarily a high platform. It just means that it's happens sometimes. And sometimes we describe that as a coming attraction, etc. When it's not stable or steady like that. And it happens in that and very powerful association. So yes, so that's real. It's real, but it's not real. We're not on the platform of Baba at that particular point. We're not even on the platform of Raganuga Bhakti, the higher stage of Vaidhi Bhakti, and the higher stage of Sadhana Bhakti. Good question. That is a very good question. We shouldn't think that when we're experiencing happiness, it's Maya. No, it's actually connecting with Krishna happiness. But it's not the same happiness or the level of the happiness that one experiences on a very high platform like Baba. Baba, which we're going to be talking about later on in this exposition of the Jaiva Dharma, is comprised of different aspects. There's Vibhava and Anubhava, Sanjari Bhava, Satvika Bhava, Sthai Bhava, and it's a whole analysis. Of course, this is all from Rupa Goswami's Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, which is the nature of devotion. So good questions. Hopefully nobody was confused today. And hopefully the explanation was clear enough for everybody. And we invite you all to review this class. It's on YouTube, my YouTube channel, Veera Krishna Goswami. It's on Facebook too, but then Facebook tends to just like go down the feed. So it may be hard to find. But YouTube, all the classes of the Jaiva Dharma are listed, 1 to whatever class are now 57, 58 we've given so far on the Jaiva Dharma. This is actually one of the most interesting series in the afternoon classes or morning classes if you happen to be lucky enough to be in the cool places like Australia, New Zealand, Fiji at this particular time. It's hot here. Of course, in about 2 weeks, I'm going to Sacramento, where it's probably a lot hotter here. Wow. Anyway, so this is part of my life to go the nectar of Krishna consciousness, burn up all my sinful reactions by being in the heat. Okay, on that happy note, we'll see everybody tomorrow, hopefully. Hopefully. Or maybe tomorrow is Sunday, so I'm not sure if we're going to be doing it at the same time as the Sunday evening class or not. But
It's
anyway.
Saturday.
Oh, it's Saturday. That's right. I missed the day. So yes, I will be there. Saturday. Okay. Saturday? No, we have nothing in the evening. But today we have a big ceremony. It's Codicy here in New Orleans. So see everybody later. All glory is to His divine grace. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami.